Hello, it's Sibu and Sphere, and we are back with another video. What are we doing today?
So recently, there was a post of a guy that recently performed the vasectomy for about 7,000 rand.
Oh, I saw something.
Yeah,
like
so there's been discussion about whether men should be doing vasectomies to prevent unwanted pregnancies,
Yes.
and all those kind of things like that.
Yes.
And a video started surfacing of
Spending money on a child.
yeah, a woman explaining how much money she spends on her child.
Yes.
And then a lot of people started to speculate there how expensive actually raising a child is.
Yeah.
So let's just take a look at this clip first,
Yeah.
and then you tell me what you think about it.
Absolutely.
This is how we easily spend over 7,400 Rand per month on my 14-month-old baby. His medical aid goes for 1,800 Rand and daycare is 3,000 Rand per month. So yes, they did not lie when they said babies are expensive. That is the cheapest daycare we could find in the area. He goes through 3 tins of milk and also 3 packets of nappies in a month. We buy 16 jars of purees every month that he takes every other day to daycare. And he goes through 2 boxes of cereal for breakfast at home. And we pack 2 packets of wipes and a tissue roll to daycare every month. And this month we spent 150 on his toiletries.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, children are quite costly, right? But also, I feel like some people, I don't want to say exaggerated because we all, we all spend differently, I think, on our kids. So the problem with this is or things like this is that everybody now thinks that they have to spend 7.4 on a kid, and realistic, that's not always the case. Like, certain kids can have similar things, but survive on you spend less money on them. So it's also about a lifestyle thing. Like, there's so many kids that are not being raised on 7.4, but they're doing just fine. Like, their parents can afford them, they can afford clothes, food, and everything.
Yeah, 7 grand on a 14-month baby does seem like a lot. Huh?
It's a lot.
Seems like a lot of money.
It's a lot.
Like just for context, we also have a child.
Yeah.
Who's roughly around
the same age. Yeah.
And I think we spend close to this amount as well, because the things that she's mentioned. Actually, no, we don't even spend close to this amount.
You see, instead of daycare, we have a nanny, right? And we pay the nanny the same amount that we pay daycare. So, okay, but my point is that I don't feel like you always really have to spend this amount on children. But then again, yes, there are people who do spend it, so it is an amount that you can literally spend on a child. Children are expensive. I mean, they are expensive, and I like the fact that they're showing this as well, because people who think there's also this thing of parents who pay maintenance. To them, they don't understand the real expenses that actually go into raising a child every month. Where some would feel like if they're paying 1,000 Rand to the mother or 1.5, it's enough, and then they always think that, the mother just wants the money to themselves. In most cases, there are cases where people are like that and they're trying to hustle money from people, but in many cases that's not the case. And it's not enough. Even if I put my own half to that, it's still not enough. So I like that they're showing these kind of things as well, to show to be more realistic about raising children and how much it actually takes to raise children. So one, yes, children are expensive, and also depending on your standards and what you want for your child as well. But I guess that's why maybe some fathers would argue maybe you're living beyond your means, and that's why this is not enough and things like that. So it is important to be realistic about your means as well. You won't feel that children are that expensive if you do. And other things that make children feel expensive is when you're probably not ready to make those sacrifices. You know what I'm saying? You used to spending so much money on yourself. You want fancy clothes, fancy things all the time. And now you have to sacrifice a little, take away a little from what you usually do for yourself. And now you have to do for another human being.
So I always have this. So whenever somebody brings up this thing of saying that children are expensive.
Yeah.
The first thing I always think about is like there are people who raise kids
Yeah.
with very little
With very
amount of money.
little. Yes.
Like there are people who can raise a child like clean for a month with 500.
Yes. With the grant money.
Yes, with grant money.
The child is surviving. The
Yeah.
child is well. The child still goes to creche, goes to everything. So it tells you it tells you that
So-
the child is not expensive. It's your standard.
So yes, so I usually say that in most cases, children do not require a lot to raise.
Yeah.
We have like these standards that we need to maintain
Yes.
to look a certain way
To people.
and all these things, and then we
Absolutely.
want to do these things for our children
Absolutely.
to give them a certain standard of living,
Yes.
which is fine. Every parent wants the best for their child and stuff like
Absolutely.
that. But raising a child does not require as much as people think it does.
Yes.
So, for example, she can just cut medical aid and take a child to a public clinic. That's 1.8.
I mean, it's not nice though. Like,
But-
yes, that is a reality, right? But like the convenience of having private health.
you're paying for convenience.
Yes.
Exactly. So you see, that's not the child's fault. You're the one who's paying for convenience.
Oh, that's true.
Yes. So the child is not expensive. Wuti, I'm paying medical aid for my convenience. No, there are facilities where you can take the child for
Medicaid
free.
is expensive.
Yes, medical aid is very expensive. That's
But
$2
it's
grand.
like you pay for like I'm paying for the convenience as well.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to take my child to obviously.
So that's $2,000.
Private
That's
doctors.
$2,000 out of that budget already. So now if you remove medical aid and just take your child to a public hospital,
difficult cut though. But,
$2,000 out. Now
but people have lost faith in public hospitals.
there's some decent ones though. Like there are
Yeah.
people who raise their children off of these public hospitals.
That's true.
And
That's
their
true.
children
Let's
come
not
out healthy.
always make it doom and
Yeah,
gloom.
their children come out healthy and they come out fine with no problem. Like,
Yeah,
They
they
get all
give you
their
free
shots.
yes, free shots. Sometimes they give you like
free
food,
checkups and all these things and they'll tell you what the child needs. Yeah.
dietitians, all of that.
So there's a lot that you can cut out to make it more affordable to you. Like you can even just take, because I know she took the child to like a daycare that's somewhat in the burb somewhere.
Yeah, but let's be honest, the ones in the pub, that's minimum. Like
Yeah.
3,000 is minimum.
And she said that's the cheapest one she could find.
Yeah.
Take your child to the hood. The
hell no.
Konuma Grease or somewhere who's gonna look after your child and who's been doing that for years even. Who's gonna look after your child for
But
about
we
500
want
a month.
education. We want like an educational environment for our kids. Like
Really, like it's
Yeah,
it's a
we don't
daycare.
want just
It's not-
Magriza that's
it's
gonna
not-
be looking at
there's
the
no there's no formal quality of education and standardized quality of education that each daycare has. It's about the facilities. It's
Well,
about
that's
your
true.
child can play nicely, your child's gonna get food, your child's gonna play
Interact with other kids.
interact with other kids, your child's gonna be protected.
Yeah.
You know, it's mainly about that. It's not about education. Education you only think about in grade R when it's time for them to learn how to read and all those things like that. So that excuse
that's
is
true.
That's
That's true
go to the
because
hood.
at the time you're still trying to fight for them to talk like and
They're still trying to talk. Why you think about education then? So when Anje
ooh, marketing.
take your kid to Umakri's on the hood, pay her
Yeah.
500, she'll look after your kid, make sure your kid is good. Cut 3,000 off. Now the food situation, that's depending on what nutrients you want your child to have. But yeah, those
food.
those people that just buy Impo or buy the cheapest brand of like milk that they can get. Now Kona those
But
ones that you
moms,
get in
you want
ShopRite.
the best for your
Yes, but I'm saying, but my main point is your child is
You're doing
expensive.
that for yourself.
Yeah, your child is expensive because
Yeah,
you do
of
not
your standards.
because of your standards. It's not
Okay,
because
I hear you
it's
though.
not because that child is
The child
expensive.
is- yes.
It's your standards that make your child expensive. You can cut all these things
A lot
out,
of these things, yes, I get.
and
what
your
you're
child
saying,
will
but it's
still
so
your
hard
child will
to
still come out fine.
compromise.
You can cut all these things out. Your child will still come out fine. That's not on the child.
Now
that's
your
on you.
budget can actually go from 7,000 to about 3,000.
Yeah,
Something.
or even $2,000 if you want to be like very stingy
Yeah.
about it. But you can cut all these things. Me, I was like okay, when we got our first child and we were doing like window shopping for prams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I saw a pram going for like 40 grand. I'm like,
You
there's
know-
somebody out there who's gonna pay 40 grand for a pram.
Speaking of which,
And then
you
say the child
actually
is
made
expensive.
me see like this is silly. Like I'm not actually doing this one because there was a particular pram that I wanted and it was popular and things like that. And I was like, I want this pram, I want this pram, I want this pram. And then we actually went to go buy prams and we actually found like one that was a nice deal and it was a lot cheaper, like more than half the price of the one that I wanted. And I actually saw like, and you're saying that like, why do you want this one? Is it because it's like it's popular or whatever? This is a good pram that came with a nice car seats and things like that. And I was like, I actually thought about it and I was like, you know what?
And our
like,
child was fine.
he was fine. Like that pram was perfect. You can still use it even now. Like it's perfect. That car seat that came with it was
Still being
amazing.
used
It's
even
still
now.
intact. You can still use it even now. And it's like, sometimes, like, let's be honest, a lot of these things we do it because it's there. I don't want to say social pressure per se.
It is.
Okay, it is social
So
pressure,
even with
but
that,
like,
it's like
or social influence.
it's social pressures. Because Angiti, we're living in a certain standard, right?
Yes.
We live certain neighborhoods,
Yes.
driving certain cars.
Yes,
So you want your
now you
child
want
to live a certain
certain
way.
things. But
So-
you know, like even when you start thinking differently, right? Even when you're living in like those affluent areas or like, you know, the burbs or whatever, like think simple, man. Like there's so much more satisfaction than when you actually start thinking like, don't do things for people. Do like be realistic to yourself.
Always live within your means.
Live within your
Always.
means.
Always.
You know,
And
we're
you'll
not
be fine.
saying adopt like a poverty mindset, but it's
Just
like
live within your means.
live within your
A
means.
child will never be expensive if you live within your means.
Exactly. You'll actually
Will
start
never.
understanding like how much, because now we are making things that are beautiful as like having kids, having a family seem like such a horrible experience because it's like, oh,
And
I don't
unattainable
even,
as well,
yeah, it's like
because it's
people
expensive.
people who earn not much more than the 7,000 now is gonna think like, oh shit, I can't have children or whatever. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. There, I mean,
So that's always been my main child. Is that it's not the child's fault you wanna take your child to a daycare. It's not the child's fault. It's not the child's fault that
the child did not say, I want to go to that specific daycare.
It's not the child's fault that you wanna put the child on a medical aid.
Yeah.
When there's free facilities.
Just like it's not the child's fault when you want to make that 1-year-old party that is
That I was gonna get to that,
bombastic.
So
That's
how when parents complain about birthday parties and
Birthday party.
birthday parties are so expensive.
birthday party.
So that's because you want to make a birthday party for your child.
is
Your child
another
is never
thing.
gonna remember that
Yeah.
ever.
This is another thing, you know, like he's not even gonna remember that. Like all he's gonna see is pictures.
Yes.
And I realized that's true. And I feel like you get more out of like, oh wow, this was nice. I had this nice day with my parents. Like, you know, my parents made an effort for me and you know, it was a birthday. More than them remembering that it was a house full of strangers and whatever and things like that. Like you don't even care about that in the pictures. What you want to see is like, oh, okay, there's a cake and whatever. Like it was nice
parents
to
were there.
enjoy. Yeah. And I actually ended up spending so much less on our kid's birthday when he turned 1. Like we just got a nice cake. We decorated the lounge beautifully. We didn't have random strangers. He doesn't even have friends like that, like to be inviting. It was literally just, you know, immediate family, the gram, the nanny, us, and you know, the uncle. And it was nice. Like it was a vibe. And just went to Spur after, got, you know.
And that was for us too.
That was
He didn't
for
even
us.
eat
He
it.
didn't even need that. He didn't even eat at Spur, but that was like just so, you know, let's have nice dinner out as well. And have the, you know, but like as compared to what I could have spent because I wanted to do this 1-year
So
birthday.
stop blaming toddlers for your decisions.
Absolutely.
It's not right.
You are the expensive one, not the kid,
Not the
my
kid.
babe. Not the kid.
I understand when they get to an age when they're able to speak and demand
Yes.
specific
Now
things
they're
that they
demanding. That's a different
want.
thing.
Now you can see PlayStation and now
Yeah,
you gotta go out
but
there and
also
get a
you
PlayStation.
teach your kids, if you
Yeah.
also show them that you're always gonna bend over backwards to do, you know, these expensive, you know, lavish things, it's gonna be an expectation. It's a standard that you're setting on them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, now I'm gonna, if you always gonna, or you always, is every birthday now gonna be this woo 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 ha, or you know, every you know thing that I want, am I just gonna get it? And it's like, you even instilling things that they must want in their head. You instilling like this unnecessary materialism in them as well. Whereas like, bro, are you alive? Are you eating? Are you breathing? Are you good? You know, do you have the basic essentials that you need? Whereas, or am I teaching you that life is not about being simple, it's about being extravagant and things like that?
In conclusion, all I'm saying is don't blame the kid for the lifestyle you want to introduce to your kid.
Yeah.
Your kid doesn't require a lot of money to enable to live.
Absolutely.
So,
and these vasectomies that people are promoting, do you know how many instances where that thing is not reversible? Like, they always promote them that, oh, you can reverse it, you know, as long as you do it. No. But we have so many cases of men that have, you know, serious fertility issues even after.
It's a terrible idea. It's too extreme of
to use as a contraceptive.
Of an option to use as a contraceptive. Like, it's an invasive surgery.
Yes.
That potentially cannot be reversible.
Absolutely.
Over some time. So the longer you have your vasectomy, the less of a chance you get for it to be reversible.
Yeah.
So if you do a vasectomy at your early 20s and you want to reverse that in your late 30s or something, the chances of reversing are very slim.
So, and it will have some impact on your body.
Like all of this, just because you don't want to use a condom.
Come on. Let's
be more disciplined.
Nature is showing us that we really need to have more, you know, sexual discipline. We need to start being seriously, and we need to promote sexual discipline, guys. I don't know where we're going with this recklessness of sex, because now we're finding every means that we can in order for us to just, like, you know.
Because
but then
if guys decide, no, okay, we all as sexual contraception, we getting vasectomies, that only eliminates the problem of unwanted pregnancies. There's still STDs and STIs that you got to deal with.
Absolutely.
And you still need to condom.
Absolutely.
To protect yourself from that.
Absolutely.
So you can't run away from it.
So you might as well just condomize. You might as well condomize.
Simple solution. So I don't understand.
And if at this point, when you are now with that person and you like you making that choice not to have unprotected sex, surely you should be making a choice to have unprotected sex with someone that you don't mind having children with. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only time, like, you should be the one you want to settle down with, and not just random people all the time. Like, what are you trying to welcome and invite into your life? Like, that is crazy.
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic, but children are not that expensive.
They're not that expensive. Don't be deterred by people, you know, as experiences.
Especially if you want to have kids.
Yes.
It's not that deep.
Like, if you don't want to have kids, that's a different conversation altogether. We're not going to force you. Yeah, it's good. Push it, you know. But, like, the danger of it is that there are people who genuinely want kids, and then they're looking at it this and then like, oh, it is hardened. So, as other people who love having a kid, we're happy with having a kid, we're very happy with having a kid. We're not rich like that, you know. We just live within our means. We do what we can afford, and our child will definitely appreciate the effort. So what's more important for our kid is that, one, we work on our relationship, because they want to have a happy and grow up in a happy and healthy home. That's number one. The best gift you can give for your child is to give them a happy home with a loving family and loving parents. Everything else is a bonus.
But anyway, you guys just let us know what you think about this whole situation.
Yeah, let us know.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And keep watching. Goodbye.
We'll check you guys in the next one.